I went to the authorities the same day I learned my parents had forged my signature to open a business in my name. This happened when I was 20 during my third semester at university. I was renting a tiny off-campus apartment with thin walls and a heater that barely worked, juggling classes and a part-time job at a bookstore. I was trying to apply for a scholarship that required proof I didn't own or operate any businesses. Simple enough, or so I thought. I logged into the government portal to download a basic verification document, expecting it to take 5 minutes. Instead, I saw that I was listed as the sole proprietor of a small construction company, active for 4 years. Revenue listed. Tax obligations attached. My name, my ID number, my signature, at least something pretending to be it. The registered address was my parents' home. I stared at the screen, convinced it had to be a glitch. I'd never owned anything more complicated than a bicycle. I refreshed the page, same result. Then I checked the tax office site. That's when things got worse. There were unpaid taxes, late fees, and multiple warnings sent over the past 2 years, all addressed to me. I felt physically sick. My hands were shaking so badly I dropped my phone. I called my dad first, thinking maybe there was some explanation that didn't involve my life imploding. He didn't answer, so I called my mom. When I asked her why I owned a construction business, she sighed like I'd just asked about the weather. "We were hoping you wouldn't find out this way," she said. That was it. No denial. No confusion. Just that sentence. They'd started the business after my dad's credit tanked, following a failed partnership. He couldn't legally register anything anymore, so they used my identity instead. Forged my signature, filed paperwork in my name, took out contracts. When I asked why they never told me, my mom said, "We're family. It's not like we were stealing from a stranger." I reminded her that if the company collapsed or got sued, it would be me on the hook. She told me I was being dramatic and that it was temporary. Temporary had already lasted 4 years. They hadn't paid taxes in over 18 months. I hung up and sat on the edge of my bed in total silence. My roommate came home and immediately asked what was wrong, because apparently my face looked gray. When I explained everything, he didn't hesitate. He said, "You realize that's fraud, right? Like criminal fraud." That night, I walked into the local government office and filed a report. I didn't sleep at all.
The investigator told me cases like mine were more common than people realized.
And that if I didn't act quickly, I could be held liable for debts and legal claims I had nothing to do with. When my parents were contacted, all hell broke loose. My dad accused me of betraying the family. My mom cried and said I was choosing paperwork over blood. Relatives started calling, saying I could have handled it privately. But there was no private way to undo forged documents and years of illegal filings. The investigation took almost a year. The business was shut down. My parents were charged with fraud and falsification of records. They avoided jail but were fined heavily and barred from registering companies again. Every document tied to my name was eventually cleared, though it took months of follow-ups and more stress than I knew I could handle. I lost the scholarship because of the delay, but I kept my future, and honestly, that mattered more. I learned something early that a lot of people don't figure out until it's too late. Love doesn't excuse ruining someone's life, and being someone's child doesn't mean you're obligated to take the fall for their mistakes.